Talk Fall River. No, episode 23. MJ. Michael Jordan. If anyone was confused on the number.
The GOAT, greatest of all time?
Yes, pretty much. Hi, this is Trot.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Nikki.
We have a new 3-hour Saturday show. Are you ready for this?
Supersize me.
It's a 3-hour tour.
But here's the good part about that, though, right? One day.
I don't know. Honestly, I like 3 hours. I just want to give them all everything that we got.
You want to do like a 3-hour show every day?
No, well, all right. We don't want to be like a couple people on another radio station that are just complete hacks. So
we like to talk about city topics. We like to talk about food. We like to talk about national topics. Same as everybody else. I think the difference between what you're talking about and maybe what we do here is we allow the other side to have a conversation.
Yes, sir.
Such as that whole France and, Syrian refugee conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had somebody call into the show, complete opposite views. Wanted to blame everything on Obama, like everything wrong in the country was because of Obama. Everything was fine before Obama showed up. I'm not a big Obama, huge fan of Obama, but come on now. Like, we know that there's a lot of things going on way before he became the president. And I personally don't think he did a whole lot to fix a lot of those things. But he did a little tiny bit, some Bin Laden, I guess, I would say.
Can't say he broke it all, but it's just easy. It's just easy to have the guy in the office to blame.
And now you have to wonder, right? Is that going to happen with our new mayor? Are people already knocking on the door a little bit, looking at the chinks in the armor a little bit already?
Wow, what a segue you
like that?
Wow.
That's what I do.
That is just good. That is good.
That's what I do.
That's great timing.
I know.
So what do you guys think? What do you expect from our new mayor?
I'm waiting to see, just like I did and do every time a new mayor is elected. There's a lot of talk before they actually get into office. So I can't say anything about I just know that we're paying attention. That's all. That's the only thing that I can say is I'm not going anywhere. I'm still paying attention.
I'm pressing the flesh a little bit out there, right? Trying to get an idea as to where people are thinking and what people are thinking. I try to talk to Sam Sutter supporters more than the Jazel guys because I want to see if their criticisms have changed now that he's the mayor, or are they hopeful, or are they, are they like, oh, this city is up in arms? I haven't heard anyone say to me, oh, we should have kept Sam Sutter. This city's going under. Haven't seen it. Haven't read it. Haven't had a conversation with anybody about it.
All right. So you have Sam Sutter, who was in office by the time he is removed, by the time Jazel is sworn in, he'll have been in office for 1 year. People will either say within the first 100 to 120 days of Jazel's first term, whether or not we should have given Sam Sutter a chance. Well, you know what? Sam Sutter really did show a lot of his character during his first 120 days. Things such as that transition report. You have people who are giving suggestions of things to do in the city, such as Alan Silva. You had him give a lot of things that needed to be done. A lot of suggestions that were both on the city side and on the government side. And you have a mayor who decided to go against all of them and made a quote unquote courageous decision on creating a $10 per month per unit trash fee. So you have this piece of information where he had someone on this report that put everything out on the line, put all numbers down. It was nothing objective. It was just straight up numbers. And he couldn't be bothered enough to even try one thing. If he probably would have given one or two of those things a shot, we may be a little better off now, but he didn't. He went completely against the grain on that. He did his own thing. He was quote unquote courageous, which is a joke. And that, I think, was his ultimate downfall. Now Now we have Jazel, who's going to come into office. He's got his first 120 days. He's going to be doing some stuff. People are paying attention more than ever now. With not only do we have a new mayor, we have a very young mayor, and we have a mayor that has bold ideas. Now we're just going to see what he comes up with in the next 4 months.
Yeah, it was awesome, Derek.
It's a lot
2
harder.
thumbs up, man.
It's a lot harder to. Do you feel like, and maybe it's just a theory in my head, but it's a lot harder to do that job now than it was in, say, the 90s or even 80s when the economy was a little better.
Well, it's hard to. What you mean, the current mayor's job?
Yeah.
Well, it's harder now because you have everyone paying attention. I don't think people paid attention as of maybe 3 years ago.
Right. Well, the media, social media, a lot of different things. Instant gratification of getting information is a lot. It's at a higher rate than it ever will be. However, when you have the restraints of net school spending, you have the restraints of a tighter budget. Things are, quote, more expensive now. So I think, and plus now the economy, which is the biggest thing. Getting jobs here after the huge outflux, I should say, of factory jobs that left the city. So it's harder now to be a mayor than it was back then, which means you have to be more, in my opinion, you have to be more diligent to make sure that your spending and your wasting is to a zero level at this point.
That was exactly what I was going to say. You realize that spending at this point is going to be a lot higher, like you said. So you have to tighten the financial belt. How are you going to do that? You're going to do that by being much more financially sound in the money that you spend across the government, across everything that happens in the city. So you can't go out and just say, I need $600,000 for bins. You can't just do that anymore. You can't just say, I need $450,000 for this, or $350,000 for that, or $3.5 million, because everyone loves that number.
That's the magic number.
We just can't do that anymore. I don't care if it's bonding or not, because now that bond number is going to attack us years down the road. You have to be able to spend wisely. You have to be able to put the money where you need it. And you have to be able to say, I have to cut in this location in order for us to save money. And it's going to be an interesting ride, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Well, the first thing I want to see, if you're talking about spending, I agree that in some instances, it's harder to be mayor now than it may have been during the 80s. We have a different economy. There's a different population. Everything is completely different.
I think the drug problem in Fall River is worse than it's ever been as well, which messes with, it's all interrelated, right? Mm-hmm. So it messes with not just like the social aspect, but also the financial now. People are less qualified to find jobs when they're in recovery or whatever is going on. So
right.
Messes with that too.
Mm-hmm. Does it?
Yes, it does. So it is what it is, though.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Got quiet for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody got any opinions out there? Give us a call.
Oh yeah.
774-955-0533.
It's a true story. So we have posts going out there on social media wondering what Kathy Ann Viveris is going to do. Where's she going to go? Make Mayo
Raggedy
Brown?
Ann.
Yeah, well, that's what you want to call her.
No, I don't know about CAV. I think CAV is, we can sit here and we can say whatever about each person, and they should be held accountable. But here is what accountability to me would be: somebody in a position such as the city administrator who maybe have had to make mistakes. And when I say had to make mistakes, because their job was reliant on it. They were basically going to lose if that's the case, like if people lied because they were in fear of losing their jobs, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear, because then I can say, all right, if that's how it was, let's work on that and go from there, instead of just pushing it aside and there being no accountability. That's what I want in accountability.
Right.
But then I ask the question: if you're lying to save your job, and you want to hold them accountable, you're also now saying in the same breath, things that they say were no longer credible. And a credibility and accountability to me kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Because if you are not credible,
Mm-hmm.
we will hold you accountable for those words, and therefore something should happen to you. I mean, you lie on the stand, you go to court, you lie on the stand, you can go, you're up for a charge of perjury.
Right.
So why are you going to lie to the citizens of Florida, to the people who guide, to the watchdogs in Florida, the city council, about all these things that are, this is okay, I mean, these are why these numbers are a little bad, and then when you're questioned upon certain things, you can't come up with answers, and you have no, and you have no answers for the, I mean, you're just looking foolish, like, I can't tell you.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with everything you're saying, but at the same time, I also believe in forgiveness. So not saying that I would keep them necessarily in that position. However, when I say start over again, if they want to build that trust again, listen, if somebody can come forward and really, back up what they're saying, I'm not just saying somebody say, oh yeah, I was told to lie to save my job. Show me. You know how I like facts. Give me those emails, because there's got to be conversations about it if you had to lie. You know what I mean? So I don't want anybody's job to ever be threatened. So if that is occurring, I want those people to come forward and say that is what's happening. We know people lied. I mean, it's not even a matter of charges need to be filed. This is factual. We all know somebody lied.
Doesn't Sean Cadine fall into that same category here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Ken Pacheco fall into that same category as well? There's just a lot of people out there that you look at their faces, you look at the shift in their eyes, you know there's something more going on here.
Aren't you intrigued by Kadim's push to be in Fall River politics?
I'm not intrigued by it, but I think it's.
I'm so intrigued by it.
I'm not intrigued in it. I think that he is the city administrator of another town, and there could possibly be areas of conflict there. But we'll see. We'll cross those bridges when we get there.
Now, wouldn't it be very interesting to see that Sean Cadine becomes the city council president?
He's going to be.
Well, now here's my problem with this. As a city council president, if you have that kind of conflict, if you have that sort of conflict of interest going into votes for things for the city, and you're most likely gonna have to abstain from them. You had the votes for the you had the votes where Jazel and Leo abstained from their votes in one of the last city council meetings. So they were directly involved. You have to stay away. When you're Sean Cadine and you have a conflict of interest between something that's going to happen within the city that could also affect Seekonk,
mm-hmm.
you're going to have to abstain from your vote. Does that look good on a city council president to continually abstain votes? See,
and that's why I'm intrigued. So I think I like stories, and I picture him. I literally do. I feel like he's going to go into a city council meeting one day, maybe 2 months from now. It's not going to be a long time. And he is going to say everything that he has been wanting to say since he was canned from his job in Fall River. And I imagine him flipping everybody off and saying, I'm all set. I'm done. Like, get me out of here. And that's it. I feel like he just has a lot to say and hasn't been in the position to say it where people would believe or trust what he's saying. And I'm going to play Mike in a moment and be devil's advocate, because so many people are blaming him. He was at fault. It was his fault. He knew. And I just feel like he's got something that he needs to say. And I do feel like he's just going to walk off after that. Drop the mic. Yeah, like one of those big moments. Like, just because he pushed so hard, he ran for mayor. He hasn't stopped. To me, this is, in my opinion, if he really was at fault, like, we know there is investigations going on. There's supposedly one going on right now, and he's still pushing. So to me, I feel like he doesn't fear getting in trouble. So that says he didn't do anything wrong to me. I mean, if I thought I was going to get in trouble, I would never even want any part of that. But for him, I feel like he's got this push. He's got something to say. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, I'm pretty about 100% sure he blames it on Liz Souza and Will Flanagan. I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to.
Well, he's talked about Ken Pacheco too in the infamous interview that Mike DeOliveira did on Necessary Media.
I also feel as though, he wants to be the mayor. I think that he's going way past the Windows thing, and he wants to keep himself in the face of Fall River politics so that he can make a run for mayor, which is what he ultimately wants to do or has wanted to do since he was a school committee member. So there's that. And that to me can become interesting, because now you're looking at Pam LeBeau was on the local radio station AM dial and mentioned that Linda Pereira would be the vice president and Sean Kadim will be the president of the city council. So we already know the storyline with Linda as far as being a huge Sam Sutter supporter, how she and Jaisal were going back and forth throughout multiple council meetings, taking little shots at each other here and there. So now she's going to be the vice president with Sean Kadim, who has been trying to become the mayor of Fall River for quite some time now. That could be what you say intriguing to some people.
Interesting.
If Jaisal has good ideas, or if he has ideas that he's trying to implement, will he be stalwarted at the gate?
Oh, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, because we're going to have to, as the public, going to have to pay attention and say, are these good ideas, and is the city being served by a city council that's trying to block those ideas, or the other way around? Because what we've seen a lot of is, if the mayor has the majority of the city council, obviously it's a field day, right? It's a part of the reason why we had the whole ballot gate before, because people I would assume mayors like voters, city councils like Leo and Pat Casey that just stamp everything through. You got to imagine that. So now you wonder if your vice president is going to be heading the brigade of blocking things. Is your president, who wants to become mayor, going to manipulate the situation and try to make the mayor look bad? And
it's like a bad telenovela.
I hope it is. I hope it's more like a telenovela than, I hope it is.
Just picture them sitting in their seats, but all in Spanish.
I don't know if you ever seen that show, but they do that whole thing.
No, the telenovela is
hilarious.
I used to go over to my friend's house, and that's what her mom would be watching. That's what I see. Like when they're in their seats, if they were speaking Spanish or Portuguese,
very dramatic.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I understand where you're seeing the intrigue. I think maybe it's me, maybe it's my perspective. I'm just tired of the intrigue. I want our government to actually work for the people. The more intriguing things get, that means the more that they're butting heads and things aren't getting done. That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because all the things I just explained about, like, what the vice president and the president could do, that's just gonna. Do you know who's gonna get the worst end of that?
See, I don't mind. See, here's the thing. I don't mind but I don't mind seeing people butt heads. I don't mind seeing that all happen, as long as people can get to middle ground and come up with solutions.
Right.
It's the whole. It's one of the bigger things for me is like when we've said it before. You have the whole. You're being too negative. You're not coming up with solutions. Well, you know what? That is the stuff that brings the problems out. And you may not have a solution, but there may be people that say, hey, you know what? I thought of that. And here's something I was thinking of to maybe fix it. Then you have this bunch of people saying, well, I have this idea and I have that idea. And then that's where you start to get the whole thing moving. And I don't care if people butt heads on anything in city council chambers. I don't mind.
Afternoon Derek is so much more talkative.
Well, hey, I legitimately got a 2-hour nap before the show, so I'm like wired.
He is. He's coming out with it.
Yeah, it's good. It's better.
I love it.
I'm a little like, when Sean Kadim first announced, and me and Sean, we I said happy Thanksgiving to him. Like, we talk every once in a while and stuff like that, right? No, I'm just saying, like, I don't have anything against Sean Kadim personally. I was one of the first people to say, what is he doing? Because I'm thinking he's $160,000 a year. Mm-hmm. City of Seekonk. Seekonk's looking pretty good from this, vantage point. You know, things are he was a hot commodity. What was it? Swansea and Somerset were going after him at the same time. So he pretty much has a lot going for him in that respect. So to come into the Fall River and to get city council, to me, there's only one direction that goes, and that goes head to head with Jazel, you know? But a lot of people, especially talking to me, because I'm right there, right at the line, and they're like, oh, Sean's going to step down and be this. No, he's not. He's not going to do that.
Oh, I guess so. I'm not the only one who thinks he's going to say.
No. People think that Jazel's going to put him on as the city administrator.
Oh no, I don't think he's going to move into another position.
No.
I do believe he's going to say things.
So you don't think? Yeah, you think he's going to just throw up the double cowboys?
Yes.
And be like,
Yes.
Out?
Yep.
Right.
I just think I really think it's. If I were him, like that's. I just try to put myself in his shoes. Like I think, like why you just said like he's making 160,000 in Seekonk. Like why would he want this after everything that the people who are still in those positions? We're talking Ken Pacheco, Kathy Ann Viveris, that talked about him in that way. So what would make him want to come? And even though you say like a future political career, he could have that in Seekonk. He could have that anywhere. It doesn't have to be Fall River.
He wants Fall River. I don't know why.
It could be,
but he wants.
You could be
Fall
right.
River.
I have a feeling that he just wants Fall River because he wants that political challenge, and when
He wants to make us his.
Yeah. Well, that's not. Well, I'm not
only
going
kidding.
there.
I'm only kidding.
I'm not going there. I'm thinking that if he can come in and he can turn things around a lot, he can use that as a much bigger stepping stone to go somewhere else and throw up the double cowboys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, what's a bigger middle finger than to fix what Flanagan couldn't fix, right? What would be the biggest? That'd be the biggest middle finger, right?
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's gotten so personal. I listen to that interview often that Mike did, and it's when you hear it in his voice, it sounds more personal to me than anything. It really does. So when that's how I look at it from a personal standpoint. And he could, and I'm not, maybe he's not going to throw up the double, but that's what I picture because it makes it more fun to me. Let's face it. But I don't see him staying here because of that. Could he turn it around eventually? Maybe, but I still think he's got an axe to grind. I think he has to, because if he doesn't, then I'm going to sit there and question why he hasn't. He had all that to say before. So now he's in a position where he could call these people out and everybody's paying attention. Will he? So.
Well, I don't know if Nunes and all these people are even going to be there.
Nunes will probably be on vacation.
But I just don't know what our new, financial committee meetings are going to look like. I don't know who the new people are going to be or if they're going to be the same old, same old. Now, if Sean is the council president and it's Nunes, Kathy Ann, and Ken all over again with their, purple coats and books and everything else, right? And they go and their wacky numbers, right?
There'll be new windows for everybody.
Right. I'm pretty sure that Sean is going to be a little aggressive with them. I could see that. I can envision that happening. What do you mean? What's the answer to that? You don't know the answer to that? Go find the answer. I can see that happening. A little bit more so than when Joe was there. Joe kind of was like just rolling his eyes, putting his hand over his face, like, what is going on here? You know what I mean?
See, but when he puts his hand over his face and he just like lets stuff go, that also makes him look bad. And I know you love Joe. I don't
love Joe. Let's.
All right. Come on.
Excited.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm sorry. You think Joe is tenacious?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But here's my issue. When you're sitting back at a finance meeting and you have your head in your hand thinking, what are these idiots talking about? And you don't speak up to be like, look, be more clear. I'm sorry, you're just a puppet. Get off the stage. I'm sorry, you're done. I mean, he's had every chance to potentially go in and actually say, hey, look, be a little bit more clear. Because that is his baby. That's the finance committee is all him. That's him. He has the right to say, hey, look, we need something more specific and have it for the next meeting. I have never seen him once say, I want more answers. And they probably have the answers somewhere. I just don't like the fact that he doesn't give that chance. I mean, I'm not saying to be completely disrespectful and call out every single one of those people, call out Kathy Ann on every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're trying to just like kind of piece along an answer to try to just get by.
Well, the perfect example was when Ray questioned Nunes about what was it about? Can't remember it. There's so many lines.
The person who said to not.
Oh yeah, to not give fines, and he didn't push him on that.
That's my.
None of them did it, so that upset me that day.
But you got to understand, the head of that committee should have been like, hey, no, he may not want it, but we want an answer.
Yeah.
And if Ken still wasn't able to give an answer to that,
mm-hmm.
then it's Ken's head Ken's head is on.
Oh, he's definitely on the
thing.
chopping block.
Yeah,
has to be.
And now that Linda Purr, who's wanted council president for quite some time, I mean, she wants that bad hardcore, right? So if Sean does shift out, not only does, do I get involved in this, but then now you have new council president, Linda Pereira. Is everybody ready for that?
Would they actually just promote the VP? Is
Yeah.
that how that would work?
Oh, yeah.
I say revote.
I would imagine that it's going to stay the same, but they're going to have to vote for. Well, maybe they do vote for a new president. That'd be interesting. I don't know why they would. I still have no idea who I would vote for. I'd probably end up voting for Joe. Goodness gracious. This is based on a lack of choice.
So all right. So would you rather have the devil that you know, or would you rather have the devil you don't?
I don't. Kadeem's a wild card right now. I mean, I think he's, like I said, a nice guy to me and everything.
I'm talking about if Kadeem actually leaves.
Well, who do you got?
No, I'm
You
talking
got
about
Steve Kamara. Steve Kamara has been council president before, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's the only one in that whole list besides him and Linda, the only two that have been council president on that whole list. Where'd you go with that, Ray? Nope.
Oh, I don't think I could handle if he was.
No.
I can't handle him being vice president.
City council come to order. Dear God, man. No, he just seems way too like, I don't know.
He rushes everything. I can't with him. He rushes it all.
Yeah, city clerk is in the middle of announcing item number whatever.
And he's already ready to pass it and enroll it, and she hasn't even finished reading it.
Accepted place on file.
Yeah.
Like, Kamara has actually called him out for that.
Yeah, he has.
And he still does it. Which is what they find to be hilarious.
So again, we end up with a pretty measly situation. I have to go back to Joe on that one. I talked to Jordan a little bit about it. Jordan's like, I'd vote for myself. I honestly, I wouldn't do that because I don't have the experience to be that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't vote for myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to run it through my head, and
right, exactly.
It is insane.
Yep.
It would have to be Linda or Joe.
Think of me when you're voting. No, I'm kidding.
It's based on lack of choice.
Nikki for City Council 2017.
No.
So really, for the sake of all that's good and hopeful, is that you hope that Sean, as a council president, actually does the job right. And by all means, I disagree. Me and Nikki are in disagreement. I think his motivation to do well is actually higher than his motivation to just give him the double barrel. Because if he does do well, he's in more of a better light to run for mayor than if he just was like, F you guys, you're cool, you're cool, F you guys, I'm out. You know what I mean? I just don't see that happening. If his goal is to become the mayor of Fall River down the road and challenge Jazel, which
Has anybody asked him if he had goals of becoming mayor down the road?
who's expecting a straight answer? Nobody's expecting.
You never know. Why would he not?
Because nobody answers anything. Come on. We've been doing this for a little while.
You wouldn't answer? Is that what you said?
Me?
Yes.
I wouldn't expect him to answer.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you wouldn't answer
No.
that question.
I wouldn't expect him to answer. I actually was in a conversation with him and I offered for him to come on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just said red. And never replied.
He never
after that.
replied.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the way things go. So I just don't think everyone's always ready to answer questions.
Hashtag tabled.
Exactly. He went on Mike's show, answered all the questions. Can't go on my show and ask questions.
Nikki's done.
Because that was great.
Yeah, it's true. Let's table it.
Because now if he does become city council president and he says tabled or whatever, I'm going to be done for.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Edward Costa was on the show on Friday. It's pretty nice to have him going there. We talked about this article, and you know what? It went nowhere. It absolutely went nowhere. So this article, I think what happened, because, you know, Ed talked about how statistics have been manipulated to make, you know, the school department look like it's performing at a very high rate, when in reality, it's not, right? Some of the schools are doing better than others, but they're not doing, in comparison to the state, very high, right? They keep on saying improved. We've showed, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they say. They say we are the most improved, but they're not saying that they're competitive with the rest of the state, right? Because they can't really say that. So that Edward Costa made that point, and then it was attempted to be rebutted with someone who also has a PhD, and showed and said, hey, Edward Costa is wrong for saying what he said. But then when she used her example, she basically 100% supported what Edward was talking about. So then you have this other factor, how she was kind of like trying to gather support against Edward Costa. And then he talked to us about how he feels there are factions out there that are trying to, you know, point finger at him for some things. And he's been doing a great job keeping his composure. As a matter of fact, all he's been doing is what, you know, something that I admire in somebody is refuting everything with facts, you know, bringing facts to the table, and using logic and going at it rather than emotion, which, you know, I think gets things done a lot more, you know, more productively, I should say.
Agreed.
See, when you're looking at the statistics, and I remember the statistic that really got me was the improvement on, I believe, the math scores, where they showed a 50% improvement on math versus how charter schools showed 40 or 41%. Now, you know, a lot of the things in statistics are based off of something called the bell curve. Now, all that is that you have a curve that it looks exactly like a bell. You know, it goes up and it comes back down. And what happens is when you are put on a position on the upslope of the bell curve, you just have a much larger area of improvement because you have more area under that curve. Whereas if you're in a charter school and you have a higher average, you have less of that area of curve. So when you do improve, it's by a lesser percentage. So that one comment that was made in that article was completely, you can completely throw that away because you can't compare, you cannot compare people with having being X amount of percentage above their current average. Because if you're starting out with someone that's at an average of let's say 65 and 50% improved, that just means that they just got over 65, maybe 66 and better. Whereas people that are in like the 70 to 75% range, it's harder because you're already much further on the curve. So you can throw that all away. What would I rather see? I'd rather see students that are in similar boats. So the people that are in the 65% range, see how they did, 70% range. That's a much more accurate and much more telling statistic. Now, but the problem is that you may have a lot more students in one portion of the system where they're in that 65% range, where the other portion is not. So you have to deal with that as well. I mean, that's what sampling pools are all about. So, I mean, sorry for the math lesson.
It was a good math lesson. And, you know, as you were saying it reminded, that's how they were doing the grading system for the students in the school. Years ago, they stopped using A, B, C, D. They went to 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s, but everybody, like when my daughter first got a report card, the first term it would have like 3s. But every kid in the class was at the same level. So at that point, I said that report card didn't really mean much to me because it wasn't her true grades. So it's basically the same thing. But thankfully, just to say, this is the report card we just received, was the first report card with A's, B's, C's, and D's. Again, thank you very much.
That's very good.
That
As a
made me
matter of
happy.
fact, I mean, to break it down as simple as I can possibly break it down to, if your ceiling is 100 and the rest of the state is at 95, then their ceiling for improvement, their room for improvement is a lot smaller than the school that's performing at 60. Right?
Mhm.
That's basically it. I mean, that's the only thing that Edward Costa was making a point on, and it got kind of a little bit tried to get twisted into something different. But that's the truth. The truth is we're performing so low that we have a higher, margin for improvement than schools that are already performing high. Their numbers for improvement are not going to be as high because they're already
there.
at a level
There's nothing to improve
that
upon.
the lower schools are trying to get to, So very, very simple situation. Now, reading up a little bit, got to read a little bit of what's going on here. I don't know if you guys noticed that Herald News 99-cent charges are starting to kick in now.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't read that paper.
I try to read as few articles from there as I possibly can. I'm not gonna lie.
I never had a problem with the Herald News. I had a problem with Mark Dion or whatever is, Dion, whatever it is. That's the only person I had a problem with, really. But now you got this other stuff that happened with Josh and all this other stuff that happened.
Well, we all know we have certain friends of the show who love other female reporters that such as Joe Good. I'm just giving her a shout out.
Well, I don't. It's not that I have a problem with the Herald News. I just don't read
He
it.
ain't talking about you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I'm like, I didn't
no.
say anything. I'm like, I don't say anything negative. Sometimes there's articles I share. I mean,
No. I'm just throwing out. I'm just throwing out a shout out.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay, all right.
I know.
But
Superman.
But there, yes. But no, there. Nice one. But there are some nice articles out there. There was. Over, I believe, just before Thanksgiving, there was an article that was shared on the City Talk page about, and this is all about Thanksgiving. We'll get to that in a minute. There was a fourth grade student, I believe it was in Henry Lord.
yes. Collecting hands.
Yeah. So it was this fourth grade student that came out and asked the teacher, "Do we do a food drive?" And the teacher said, "No," and she said, "Why not?" So the teacher spoke to, the principal said, well, you can make a box and you can decorate it however you want. And at the end of the day, I believe they got tons and tons of support. Now, keep in mind, this is a 4-year-old child that's doing this.
Fourth grader.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Fourth grader. Big difference, right?
She had a little help. They offered the students whoever brought in a can was allowed to have a dress down day, which is great incentive.
Right.
For people to bring the cans in.
But think about it. I was going to say 4-year-old, a fourth grader comes up with this idea. These are the kinds of people that are going to be, that when they grow up, they're going to make a much bigger impact. And huge. I mean, chances are this person will never hear it, but huge shout out to that student that
I can make sure she hears it.
If you can, huge shout out to that student, because to me that is just a very great, just being that young and having that kind of a mentality to help others like that. That's just going to grow as she gets older as well. So, and I hope more people become like that.
There are, how I keep saying, talk to the kids, like everybody needs to talk to the students. There are so many kids that are brilliant. I went to the Halloween party that they had at my daughter's school. It was so fun watching all of these kids interact with each other. And there was no arguing, and there were kids of all colors and faiths and religion and parents there. And it was such a nice event that it's like, I wish those were the things they did more of for our kids. Like, not all separate schools. I mean, everybody needs to do it, but to keep on doing it. We used to have so many fun things where everybody got to know each other, and they don't do that anymore. So if the kids got to know each other, like, I'm so happy they're finally doing sports at Henry Lord. They might be having some games going back and forth. So those are the kinds of things, like, they need to do that. Then when they get to high school, they at least know some of these kids. There's already some kind of connection instead of everybody being so separate and different.
You guys friends with Amy Blanchett?
I'm not.
She writes for the Herald News Advisory Board, and she talked about the youth panel. You guys remember that one? That was a pretty good deal. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know yet. Let me see. Find here. she was able to. She mentioned me in this article real quick. Today's article. Youth violence prevention meeting was by far my favorite part of the city council campaign. Having an opportunity to hear from students, gain their perspective, seeing where people can help sets a great example for the city. We only make things better when we can communicate and discuss issues productively and genuinely. So that was in here. That's one of the things that, like, this is one of the reasons why I don't completely want to choke every single member of the Herald News, because sometimes some people actually do some pretty decent stuff. So this is an article by her, and she listens to our show, and I think she's friends with some of us, right, on Facebook?
I believe I am not.
Oh, all right.
But I mean, hey.
But yeah, so there's that. Again, you know, there's another one where Sam Sutter announced a safety plan for King Philip's Mill.
Okay.
What do you feel about that?
I'm gonna throw open Florida for a minute. I'm gonna throw a shout out today because if everybody remembers about, I think it was on Thanksgiving, Jordan threw out a post about the turkey lady. And,
Oh yes.
all right. Now this is the
It was
funny,
awesome.
right? I never watched that Citizens Input until yesterday.
Really?
I never watched
It's the best.
I swear I had to wait 45 minutes because I didn't want to fast forward. I didn't want to miss it. When I got to that point, I was like, so what's so funny about this? And then all of a sudden, she just starts shooting. She just starts gabbing with Leo, and all of a sudden, all this craziness, a bunch of turkeys, and I'm like, oh wow, this is what this is all about. But one of the things that I found, I bring up this because about maybe one or two people after her. Now, keep in mind, this was September 2014. Somebody brought up the King Philip Mill, how around the whole King Philip Mill, there was $50,000 worth of fencing that people put up, and how they should go out to bid to see if there's someone that could.
They wanted to buy. If I'm not mistaken, they asked about buying fence as opposed to renting or leasing with the cost.
Right. So I mean, think about that's well over a year that has been at least out there.
Yeah.
And it's finally now that we're coming up with a plan. Sorry, I just need to throw that out there.
Kathy and Viveris, and I remember her saying this at the last meeting, said that it would cost $300,000 a year for a firefighter detail to be retained around the clock. $300,000. I asked as many city councils as I could. I think I asked like four of them. None of them had an answer. I said, why would it cost $300,000? Leo looked at me and just walked away laughing. I'm not even joking. He just walked away laughing.
Do you notice that? And this is I'm just seeing this because of the fact that Leo is heading out. Do you see that he's becoming way more real and he's giving you way more of an honest answer than he ever has?
Yeah, he's saying screw it.
Myos is the same way.
He's got nothing to lose like that, and that's what I mean by that whole. I love that. I wish that we would have seen more of that. If we would have seen more of that, it would have been more real, not the rubber stamp.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I absolutely love seeing Leo sitting there just be like, "What do you want to know? Screw it." Oh dear God.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I want that badly.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, what are you gonna say?
Nice. I would rather just see the Leo be like, "Yep, here's what you want to know. All right, let's get down to the ting and let's just get it over with."
Problem is, he'd have to plead the fifth. It wouldn't be. No, I don't think I honestly, there's a part of me that like would love to have him call in or talk to him. But then there's other times where I feel like he's just going to give us the, oh, well, we do what we can. We try what we do. And it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I love his accent because it's old school Fall River to me. I'm sorry. Like, we can all make fun of him. We can make fun of him, but right. I sound terrible. My accent is awful. And I sound just like that. I'm just not a man. You know what I mean? So when people, I don't say ting though. That's old school, but it is old school Fall River though. That's how everybody talked when I was a kid.
I just was volunteering today at one of the kitchens this morning. Okay. Mm. And someone came up to me and, started sparking a conversation about, city council stuff, and said to me, gave me a really, really funny Leo story about how his car was all broken down, but he had like 50 people, and it didn't matter. They were out having a good time. He parked the car up at a bar, and they just ended up like just buying out the bar and having like this crazy time. And he said that was Leo. He'd get on the table talking to everybody, you know what I mean? Like that was Leo. And it's the thing is he was and still is to many people very likable character.
See, I don't think people have an issue with Leo as the person. I think people have issue with people as Leo as the city councilor because of the rubber stamp.
That's
and because of that. I mean, I guarantee you that you put him, you get him down to St. James and you just chat to him, you just talk to him just like he's a regular guy. I guarantee you he's got probably 20 stories to tell you. He would keep you captivated for about 3 hours, and you would just want to be like, dude, I want this guy as my granddad, my grandpa. Because that's what I truly believe.
Listen, what do we yell every time we see his van? Leo! Everybody does it. He's a Fall River staple, but I just don't want him approving the budget.
That van belongs in a museum, by the way.
Right?
That we need
first we should put a petition together and
You know, many of them are like that. Leo is like that. You can probably sit and talk to Ray Mitchell. He'll probably have you in tears for the next 2 hours.
He tells some jokes.
Oh, man. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. He's like one of the funniest guys out there, right? I actually saw him. One of my tires got, I'm going to just put it out there. One of my tires got slashed last week, okay? And I brought it to Dave's Tire. And I'm getting it fixed, and I said, I'll bet this. And I said it to the guy at the counter, which is so funny because it was such a coincidence. Because the guy's like, oh yeah, you got 10th, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? So I was like, yeah, and I think Leo probably slashed my tire, you know, trying to get me into a car accident so that way he can still keep his position, right?
Joking around,
I know, but guess who walks in the door?
No, Leo.
No, Ray Mitchell, right? So he walks in the door behind me, and I'm like, Ray, did you do that to my tire? He's like, he's quick. He goes, oh, yeah, sure I did. What did I do? Right? So right. So it was like crazy funny. We're all laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I do not want him as my city councilor, but I don't have a problem talking to this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem.
It's not personal.
Interacting. Well, some people it is.
Well, some people make it that way.
Right.
That's how it tells me they got something to lose.
Right. Some people make it personal, and then some people have legitimate reasons to be personal. Not against everybody in the government, but there are people that, you know, in the government that obviously, like, say, Jordan, for example, has beef with, right? Legitimately. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, is Ray Mitchell one of those people?
No.
I don't think so. He'll probably, I think Jordan can figure out a way to connect that dot together, but I don't think that, you know what I mean? But I do think that like Ray Mitchell, Leo Pelletier, those guys have this mentality. Linda is the same exact way. They have this mentality of, we need the money. We're taking it from you.
B squad.
That's it. That's it. And that's the problem that we have. They're not looking at wasteful spending because they don't want to rattle any cages. They don't want to ruffle any feathers. They'd rather just put, oh, well, I really hate to do this, but we gotta pay this bill. We gotta pay this bill. Oh, if you love your city, you gotta pay blah, 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 blah.
I don't want to pay any more than anybody else, but we have to do it.
Right. And then they want to act like they're stuck in the mud with you. Right. And right. So, you know, Laughable can tell you stories. I sat with Linda and oh my gosh, that when I first went to one of my first meetings I went to, I'm sitting with right on the side of Dan Rigo, and he's texting Flanagan on Flanagan's page. We're coming for you. Getting recalled. No joke. We're at what's that? O'Gill's. And everybody was there. Josh Font was there. Everybody was there. It was like a rows of people there. Yeah, it was crazy. And Dan had a couple of Michelob Ultras in his system, right? And he is texting on Facebook. We're coming for you. Recallers unite. All on Flanagan's page. I think I lost Derek. Did I lose you?
Recallers unite. Because I could picture him with like a ring. Recallers unite.
Kind of like the Planeteers when they.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
I can't.
That happened, right? Linda talking to me, you know, like you know, everyone's having a good time eating clam, whatever they were eating, and that's the thing, like clam boils. I don't know, whatever they were having. I had a steak. I don't know. I had a steak. They had seafood. But so I'm just saying it was funny. Like you can actually spend time and laugh with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the minute they sit down in those seats, you get estimentation. That's what you end up with.
Oh man.
Right? That's what, in my estimation, rusty fences are the problem.
That's my favorite word.
Right?
Out of all of the words that have been made up this year, that's my favorite.
So that's what you end up with, though. So you have to, like, as voters, do you just vote for the person that's likable, or are you going to vote for the person that you know can get the job done?
I have a serious question. This is going to come off as a joke, but I really am I'm very serious of this. Let's just say, for example, someone gets bumped and you take a city council seat. Will you use the word estimentation?
Oh man.
If you do, I swear I will lose it.
Yeah, me too. You can't do that.
You can't.
You can't do that.
Why do you guys think I want to?
Because I just know you a little bit, and I think you would.
It's gonna slip. That'll be the worst part, is because we say it so often, it'll slip.
That's the problem.
He wanted to say estimation, right?
Yes.
So he used the word estimation because I think he went with implementation and estimation at the same exact time, because they were both usable terms in this sentence.
It's a great word. Estimation is such an awesome word.
Do you know there's like 55 other situations where Dan and Leo made up their own terms?
Well, Leo has his own language, all right? So you
Right.
can't even, you have
It's
to
like Romulan.
Wow. Okay.
Oh man.
We just went there. We went to this.
I did.
Wow.
I took you with me. But no, seriously, in all reality, right?
Without
Though,
seatbelts.
like you
We have to buckle in there.
you have a great situation when they're not in council chambers, right? And it's awesome. I mean, during the election, sitting at the what was it? It wasn't the VFW. It was a Veterans Association meeting that they had at the Elks Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was on the side of me. Earl Goodette's sitting across from me. He's telling stories over and over and over again. My mom literally cannot breathe. She's laughing so hard for at least an hour. And Earl, you know Earl, right? Earl,
Yeah.
going all into it, right?
It's the Ancestry.com.
Exactly. Ancestry DNA now they got. So he.
That's what I want for Christmas.
I would love that, to be honest. I don't know what I am.
Really?
So he's having my mom bugging out laughing. But I'm thinking to myself, like this is cool. Don't get me wrong. 2 chairs down, Steve Camara. 2 chairs down from him, Leo Pelletier. We're all at the same damn table, right? Now, if Jordan walked into that, if Josh walked into that, right, he'd probably think we were nuts for even sitting at the table, right?
Right.
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 They'd probably pull out machine guns and blow my head off right there, right? Second Amendment. So, but the thing is, like, America. Nice. High five.
No, that was all Nikki.
I didn't even
I
get
hate it.
That was all Nikki, and I
It's
was.
because you don't eat the mic.
right.
I
See that?
know. It is what it is. But I'm laughing at, like, not just Earl's stories that's making my mom, like, you know, can't breathe, but like just the simple fact that we're all at the table.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like we're all sitting at
Like
the table.
it's Thanksgiving.
Right. Dan Rigo comes over.
Oh man, again.
Yeah, comes over, says hi, introduces my mom to everybody. My mom took a picture with Sam Sutter.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For shame.
Well, there you go. My mom's on the side of me, right? Actually, I wanted to take a picture with Ray LaBoy and Doc Ramsey. Those guys are Veteran Association guys. I said, hey, I want to take a picture with you two, with my mom. That's what I wanted. I like that, right?
Oh, Sutter snuck in,
We
huh?
stand there. Sutter did not sneak in. He knew.
Photobomb.
Right. But Alan Sylvia,
Ugh.
he had no problem walking in. And again, me and Alan get along pretty well. We do. No offense. But comes over to
No
me.
offense taken.
So he comes over to me and he gets into the picture. And then do not take a picture at a place where there's like more than 3 politicians. Forget about it. They all jumped into the picture. Now Sam is across the way and he looks over at me and he's like, nah. And I was like, probably not. So then he takes a picture on where he is. And my mom goes sauntering over there.
She sauntered.
She sauntered. There's no other word to use. I might use, if I ever get in the seat.
She sauntered to Sutter.
If I ever get a seat, I might use the word saunter, but that's a real word. Saunterations. She saunterized herself over to, you like that one? Over to the.
That just sounded so wrong, bro. Okay, we're going
so then she takes a picture with him and looks at me and goes, you can't see. Let me see if I can get the screen. I'll get the screen real quick. Right. She goes like this. She goes. So I'm like, why would,
just the fact that you did that, that's awesome.
why would anyone do that? Like, why would you do that to
Hey,
me?
we should all just get into the camera and just do the thumbs up like this.
I thought it was hilarious, right? Of course, it gets on Facebook. Oh, the hackery continues. I'm like, oh yeah, my mom's a hack. Okay. Wicked funny.
Great.
Wicked funny. So my point is, Common Core.
That just went from, that's a Common Core. Wow. Can someone please tell me where the leap was?
What did you just say?
So I said, so my point is Common Core. Let's go back to
Ooh. We're sauntering back to Common Core.
Sauterizing. I'm trying to think of it.
Oh, man.
So we're having a great time and it's 3 hour
I'm
show.
so hungry right now.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I just said that for fun.
I can make you something.
Oh, what?
You know what? Derek, Nikki, you guys
What do you
got
have,
this?
like Thanksgiving Day leftovers? You're like ready to just get up and go cook.
I can.
You Martha Stewart?
Well, I consider myself a great host,
Oh,
right?
Like Mark Stewart.
Like, you don't know what this apartment looked
Mark.
like. Like 20 minutes before you guys showed up, you don't even know what this apartment looked like. It was tremendous. Well, I fixed most of it. Closed the doors. You notice the 2 closed doors behind me? There it
you're not
goes.
supposed to tell us your secrets.
That is what it is. So I consider myself a good cook too. Did you have a good time Thursday?
I had a blast Thursday.
It was good.
It was at the VFW. Well, what George Charles talking about was that the VFW we had the meals for the meals for the Thanksgiving meal thing. You know what? It was such a great time. All of the volunteers there. It was just all the volunteers, all of the friends that we had there, just helping out. Everyone that came in, we appreciate everyone that came in. We appreciate all the volunteers that came out to help us. All the people that donated food items, anything like that. Just know that you guys everyone made a huge impact on everyone that that didn't have the means to do such a thing like that. That was that was always been a goal. That's always been the goal to help out the city like that. And every year, as long as we do it, I will be more than happy to spend as much time as I possibly can there to make sure everyone has a little bit to go for. So it was definitely a great day. How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great.
Trot is really cooking.
He is. I'm so excited right now because I think he said bacon and eggs, but I'm not sure. So I said yes in the hopes that it is bacon and eggs. I hope it's not something crazy.
I mean,
We need to get him like a wireless mic.
We need to get
You just can't do this at BCC. You can't.
Well, we had a refrigerator.
We need like a wireless mic and a GoPro right now because
Yes.
that would just be hilarious. All right, so
Cooking in the kitchen with Trot.
we're gonna have a half-hour segment of the show that's dedicated to cooking with Trot. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and then we're all gonna sit here and eat. It's gonna be a little awkward.
Next week we're gonna have Trot's secret recipe for mac and cheese. By the way, just so everyone knows.
You think that's gonna happen, but that ain't happening.
Apparently, that's not happening next week.
No, he'll just make it and he'll be like, "There's a lot of love in here." That's all he's gonna say.
Hey, you're not making that with cream cheese, are you?
No.
I just have to crack a joke at him.
Trot's on location right now. Maybe we should have him call his own line. Phone number is 774-955-0533. How funny would it be if I gave him my phone, called the line, and he would be hilarious?
Yeah, it'd be something.
That'd be hilarious. Oh man. So what else was happening?
This is great.
This is the first of a lot of things. The first Saturday show, right?
Right?
This is the first brunch that we're having
Right.
on City Talk.
Yes, we are.
And we have a Christmas decoration on our logo.
Aww.
I love that.
A little motif.
Yes. I can't wait for St. Patrick's Day.
I think we can play Christmas carols, can't we? There would be no. Oh, there probably is. Damn it.
I mean, watch your tongue. All right, no. All right. So what? All right. So yeah. So we had the Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving?
I said it was good.
Oh,
I had
right.
a good Thanksgiving. It was actually great. There was a 2 tables set up, but there was a conversation going on at the other table, and I overheard my uncle say about the mayor. You know, somebody was saying, "Oh, you know, I heard Sutter didn't get reelected because they're from New Bedford. I heard Sutter didn't get reelected," and so my uncle says, "No, he didn't." So the other person says, "Well, what do you think he's gonna do?" He said he's gonna go work at the law firm with Flanagan. I sat at my table. I couldn't even control my laughter. That was great. And I was nowhere near that conversation. So nowhere near it.
That's hilarious. Well,
It's-
my Thanksgiving was pretty good. We usually do it over at my sister's house. It's been a tradition for like the last, I couldn't even tell how many years. You know, we had all the family over, nieces, nephews, everything. Then you know, just of course the tryptophan induced coma that came afterwards.
I don't get that. I don't ever
do.
get sleepy after
Oh, I
eating
do.
turkey. I think I'm just sleepy because my stomach is full and I'm ready to go to sleep.
Oh no, I completely just I just go all out coma.
Really? What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving?
Food.
Yeah.
No,
What's
you
your
know,
favorite food on Thanksgiving?
my mom's stuffing.
Yeah, that's like me. Mine's is my mom's stuffing as
I
well.
swear that is like the only time of year that we do it that she'll make it. That is the only. I mean, if I had just a tray of stuffing, I could just have that all day.
Me too.
No joke. It is just that good.
I think everybody has a stuffing recipe. You know what irks me? I would go to somebody's like, "Oh, come over for Thanksgiving." You go over and they have like stovetop. You're like, "What is this? That's not stuffing." Who likes stovetop on Thanksgiving?
No effort.
No effort at all.
But
Nothing but breadcrumbs.
that's all it is. And dehydrated chopped up vegetables. That's about all you're getting out of that. No joke. But no, it was the Thanksgiving was really good. And then after my sister's house, I went over to another friend's house for a little while, and we just hung around, watched a little bit of the football game. And I called it a day because I had to go to work the next morning. So but no,
Did you put up your Christmas stuff?
it's up.
Really already? I didn't get mine up yet. We
Yeah.
had a birthday party last night.
Don't usually start putting the lights on until we're at least in December, maybe usually the first full week of December, just because I don't know. Putting on Christmas lights in November, I think is still completely a fun part of
I'm
me.
going all out.
Even
Tonight and tomorrow, mine are up.
even though
Up on.
even though I was driving in.
You guys see Rick Barlow's house?
Oh, imagine, what does he have? Spinny things and all?
Oh no, he's like one of those guys that'll have the whole
Does he
display,
have like
the
a musical
music.
thing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I went through Somerset and and I was going down. I don't know the name of the road, but it has the whole setup, and it even has a sign: tune into 88.1, just so because.
Rick, where are you? Call
know.
in and explain this to me.
I mean, you too. This house, legitimately, people were parked on the side of the road with hazards on,
That's awesome.
watching, and it was on, and you put the thing on 88.1, you hear the music, and the lights go off, and it is just hilarious.
I love when people light up their houses. Los Saletta is open, by the way, for anybody listening in
It opened up yesterday, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. Yep.
Yep.
It's usually what from sunset to
9 p.m.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
And I believe it's free.
It is free.
And they do accept donations. The donations is what helps them keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
La Salette, I haven't been to La Salette in, I can honestly say, well over 10 years.
No,
Yeah.
we go every year. Are you
haven't-
kidding?
I haven't been in so long.
Oh wow.
I always mean to go. I always want to go. It's one of those things that I know I should go to,
Mhm.
but I just everything just keeps happening. I mean, I'll have something come up here and something come up there, and then all of a sudden I run out. I just don't have I don't make it, and it sucks. And I always mean to go. I always try to at least get out there to go, but it never ends up happening.
I love it. I love taking the kids, do the same thing every year, up the stairs and all that. I love it.
But yeah, I mean this is just getting into the time
Trot's
of year.
cooking, smelling amazing. Is it like maple? I can smell maple.
We should get David Holmes to call in because he apparently is a bacon expert. He loves
He's a bacon connoisseur.
He loves to point out that I like bacon, which I'm sorry. I mean I do enjoy partaking in some
I love
crispy
bacon.
some crispy pork, but everyone loves to really
Crispy pork.
crispy pork. And we have TJ like that's kind of weird. We're just giving out the quotes now, but no, it's this time of the year has always been a special part from because you have you have those families that just that really they just can't do it, and you know what, you being able to.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Being
about.
able to help out
I'm gonna take my
like
break.
that is just amazing. It's just amazing feeling to just help out whenever you can. And welcome back, TJ.
So Nikki took a break. Nikki now has bacon and eggs. And look at the runniness. Oh, you didn't want the run? I should have asked you. Because I made that perfect over easy.
That is actually a perfect.
That's a perfect over
That
easy.
is a perfect over easy.
But unfortunately, you don't like over easy.
I don't, but that's okay.
Just eat around it.
You'll live.
Yeah. Too bad. Oh,
Hopefully I'll live.
dude,
Hopefully.
that's perfect.
Otherwise, salmonella will kill you.
Oh, man. Salmonellas.
Ask Adam, salmonella will kill you.
Oh, Adam's already probably ready to take that plate and throw it like a Frisbee. Just because it has...
Bacon.
Huh?
I said I do not have bacon.
What do you mean?
Forget it.
Oh, you're telling him that you... Oh, I see.
It was a joke.
Right. Well, Adam's a pretty strong guy. He's a vegan, right? But he can bench about 350, right? So he'd probably come in here and knock my door down and just take all the meat out of my house if we really wanted to go and do that. But it'd be something.
Vegan smash.
Yeah, vegan smash. Because he cares about the people. So Thursday was pretty awesome. With Thanksgiving Day, we went to the VFW, Angels Anonymous, had a nice Thanksgiving dinner, fed some people, had a good time. And then Saturday came around. We had a lot of extra food. And so this morning we took you're welcome. No problem. So
Nikki approves.
all the way through Saturday morning, we were giving out more of the stuff that we had. And fortunately, there were enough people there. They took just about everything.
Really?
All the packaged food that we had, they took just about every grocery.
Now, keep in mind when you talking about food, you're talking about the non-perishables that we had
We packaged about what?
I couldn't even tell.
3 crate loads.
I couldn't tell you how many bags.
We probably had about 3 to 4 pallets of donated food, and we gave some away at our dinner, but we didn't get the level of people we were hoping to get. So we had a lot of extra, and we ended up bringing it to Saturday's Kitchen this morning, and nothing went to waste. Guaranteed.
Good.
Nothing went to waste at all. And even at the dinner, we didn't get people come through the door. We were able to package a lot and get it out to the fire department, EMS guys, police department, stuff like that. So we were able to get it around. Now, granted, our intentions were to give it to people who are in need. But at the end of the day, if you're not home and you're working on Thanksgiving, it doesn't hurt to get some extra food as well either. So it works for me, Black Friday was also in effect yesterday. Did any of you take advantage of Black Friday?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
Why not?
Christmas isn't about shopping for gifts.
All right.
Well,
Jesus.
I was. Hey, you know what?
Thanks, Santa.
I was working. All right, so
Oh, yeah?
I had a reason to not do it. This is the first day shift I worked in well over 8 years, and let me tell you something. I couldn't do it.
We have a soundboard here. 2016 hopefully is going to bring in a year where we have a working sound mixer, and we're all doing it like we were doing it back in the day with the headphones. We all have a mic, but we still share mics and stuff like that. We still have kind of it's not as bad as it was when we first started on YouTube. Whew, that was rough.
Well, we were using internet off your phone.
No, we weren't. Just can't. No.
Yeah, we were. Come on, dude. We were pirating stuff, dude. No, we were like gangsters.
So anyway, not talking about it right now, but there you go.
And
But-
Nikki continues to eat.
But at any rate, the sound is better. Our microphone situation is a lot better. Everything is better. We can take phone calls too. Phone number is 774-955-0533. I almost forgot it. I know. I forget everything else in the world, but I was supposed to remember that phone number for some reason.
Oh, it is the phone number to the show.
I watched a movie last night.
What did you watch?
Creed.
Oh, you
Do not ruin this for me.
Straight Outta Compton and Creed were the two best movies I've seen, and I'm not just speaking from a bias on that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bag. Oh, you mean the actual thing? Just throw it in there.
Okay.
Yep. Just there's nothing but like fried turkey grease all over the place on there, but it will all get fixed.
I don't see anything.
Nice, good job.
It's immaculate. Remember, you spent 20 minutes cleaning up.
I fried. Did you take a look at? I know it's a mess in there, but take a look at that turkey fry. It's enormous.
I know. I seen it. I saw it once in the kitchen. It is a pretty massive thing.
Shout out to Butterball. If you wanna sponsor the show, feel free. Phone number 774-955-0533. Butterball made an indoor turkey fry about 3 or 4 years ago. I bought it. It was a pretty decent price for what you got it for. I fried 4 turkeys last year's dinner. I fried 3 this year. Actually, last year was ridiculous because I fried 4 turkeys and made 6 pounds of the world's greatest macaroni and cheese. So it's weird how that worked out.
No joke on the mac and cheese. I must admit, it is pretty darn tasty.
Derek, everybody thinks that they make the best macaroni and cheese, right?
Mm.
Just like, oh my goodness, and the Portuguese people and the shrimp Mozambique. Every Portuguese person thinks that they make the best shrimp Mozambique. Am I right?
Because they do.
You're right.
Because they do. I like that. Everyone's their own church. So like, I make the best macaroni. There's no doubt about it. I bring it to people who say, no, my mama macaroni and cheese is the best of all time. I give them a bite. They're like, damn, mama. Mama ain't got nothing on this one.
Eddie Murphy likes your mac and cheese.
Oh, I do a pretty decent Eddie Murphy
That
voice.
sounded like Eddie Murphy.
Shrek. That's Shrek.
Not that.
Hilarious. But no, but seriously. So everybody out there who thinks that they make the best macaroni and cheese, I'm putting the gauntlet down right now.
Oh, wow. So is this an ultimate mac and cheese smackdown? A Macdown.
City Talk Florida Macdown.
Anybody out there,
First annual.
I gotta get my Rocky shorts on. Anybody out there that wants to go toe to toe,
Oven to oven.
oven to oven, bring the macaroni and
Oven
cheese.
Touch gloves and keep making a clean fight.
Clean dishes.
There was macaroni and cheese at the Thanksgiving dinner.
And you know
And you know what we do? We appreciate the effort. We appreciate the donation. We love you. And we thank you. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Honorable mention. Is that what you're doing right now?
Huh? What? Nope. Just saying. Just saying. What, Nikki, do you cook?
I do.
What's your dish? With a
Everything
capital
I make.
dish.
Everything I make.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you were on like beating Bobby Flay, like if you were like on that that show.
No, because he'd aggravate me and tell me, "Oh, you didn't use enough spices or something."
No, it's like you bring in your signature dish. Like you make the best thing you make. What do you got?
That's a toss-up. I make a lot of things.
Oh man.
I really do. Portuguese soup, but it's, to me, everybody has a different taste. You know what I mean? Like I make chorizo peppers. I can make steak and cheese egg rolls. If there's something I want to make, I look up a recipe for it or invent one.
Mm. So you don't have one dish then?
No.
All right. How about you, Derek?
Steak tips.
Marinated?
Absolutely.
Marinated steak tips.
2-day marinated steak tips, by the way. I will give you a story.
Did you make something for Thanksgiving dinner?
No, I actually just donated a lot of the stuff that
You just donated some food. I got you.
So let me give you this backstory. Many moons ago, was on a softball team. We would just have a cookout every so often. I would prepare at least 10 pounds of steak tips. Gone.
Nice.
And you keep in mind the softball team is probably about maybe 13, 14 people.
Nice.
Gone. I mean, to this day, I still have some of the people from the old team being like, "So when are you gonna make these again?" I don't know what it is about them, but they like them.
I like to eat more than I like to cook. I do like to cook, but it's usually because I'm craving something and nobody is going to cook for me.
Yeah, me too, Nick.
So I like to eat. So one of my favorite dishes that like people have made for me, I was never much for that jalapeno poppers, but my friend made them one night for me. Forget about it. Forever. Same thing with the collard greens. Went down to Florida, had collard greens, came back, make them all the time now.
Nice.
Oh, so good. So see, I get my recipes from everywhere.
So Adam is like a crazy vegan person, and we already talked about this before,
Yes.
right? And I told him that I wanted to get more kale in my diet. No faster than about 20 minutes later, he's in front of my house beeping the horn. He's got these huge things of kale from the
Nice.
farmer's market.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And the thing about green vegetables for me is like, there's only one way that I like them. Two ways, I guess, in a soup or chop them and saute. That's it. I don't really like to eat anything raw.
Me neither.
When it comes to green vegetables at all. But I do love like just some olive oil, garlic, and just throw it in there. I even I'll make a piece of bacon in it and like get the goodness going on.
Make Adam mad.
Yeah.
Welcome to Culinary Talk Florida today. Hey, this is awesome. I just love that we have
Sure did.
I just love that we have 3
Hey,
hours.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Adam's kale was obnoxious. All right, the stem, you could have probably knocked somebody out with that stem.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was obnoxious.
I will say this.
Thank you, Adam.
Since he's called in about the
Vegan
restaurant
restaurant
idea, I can't forget about that. You know,
Bring it up to Rob Million.
It's in. Oh man!
Wow, you know what, Derek? I've learned is a name caller, man. He calls people names.
I say what's on my mind because if I don't, it's just
It's like that game. You say
Did you
something.
pick that up when you were like tornadoing radio shows that last year? When you went on
that whole week where I was on every single radio show.
Through up in Fall River, all of a sudden you're calling everybody names.
So this is what happens when you hang out with Jordan.
Oh no, Tony Mendoza. Bowser.
I don't call people that at least.
Blauser?
Not yet.
That's because you're not there yet. You'll get there. No worries.
Come to the dark side. The dark side.
I've known these blouses for so long.
The way Nikki says it, it's okay. You'll get there soon.
You'll get there.
Keep trying.
Keep your head
You
up,
must
young
believe.
See, I'm always positive.
man. You know what? This show has been on for an hour and 20 minutes. We haven't done it yet. Is there any new information on trash? Nope, she's covering her mouth. Ears, I'm sorry. Hear no evil, speak no evil.
It's too late. Pandora's box is open.
You open the box. Damn it.
Anything new?
No, nothing
You know
actually.
what? You know what? Then we don't have to talk about it. What?
Well, I will say this. Mike Mioza did respond to my inquiries about the recycling carts being they are at Oak Village, not Oak Grove Village, Oak Village, and they are at Doolin Apartments.
Mhm.
He was told that it is a pilot program and they are compiling data, and in January they will decide if it is a program they will move forward doing. Now, no questions were answered, excuse me. They were asked. They were not answered as far as who's paying for it. Is the city picking up the slack? Is housing picking up the slack? And I'm sure Mr. Mioza is not done asking questions about that just yet.
I was gonna look up something else, but I found the Common Core thing I was talking about before. But we'll cover that in a second.
Mhm.
One of the things that we do is make sure that when we talk about a topic, we try to remind people what we're talking about exactly. The biggest reason, and unfortunately, Sam Sutter just did not catch on to it. But one of the reasons why we care so much about, whether or not recycling is being covered by the housing department is, who's paying for what, because you don't want to get into a situation where the government's double dipping on people. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. That's the reason why we sound or act, quote, obsessed with trash, because we're not able to get past this because it's a huge money wasting situation. I don't know if there's another city in Massachusetts that has 4 contracts to handle sanitation.
Plus, it would be 4 plus
The
contracts regarding trash. No, it's 4 contracts plus. Because if we're doing any kind of pilot program with housing, there has to be some kind of a contract.
So
now we're talking about contract upon contract upon contract for trash.
Contractations.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't want
We
to stop messing with that
contractualize.
word.
Our sanitation department is contractualized. It's completely. It's not even a mess. Would be an understatement at this point.
Absolutely.
So we literally have to stay on top of this and be the voice. And even if nobody's listening anymore, we're still going to be the voice on this, because at the end of the day, we need to solve this. Otherwise, we're going to go another 20 years with no solutions on this again.
It's indicative of what's happening in every other department. If there's so much turmoil just within this one department, it's one department, and I'm still finding things that taxpayers are paying for, and they shouldn't be. So if I'm finding all of this in this one department, I can't imagine what would happen if I started going through every department with a fine-tooth comb, and that's what needs to happen.
I know exactly what's going to happen. Every single department head's going to be like, oh, crap.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Next up on the chopping block, Nikki, home run.
Well, look how big the DCM is, though. The Department of Community Maintenance, and how many levels it holds underneath it.
Well, it's got sanitation.
Everything
streets
goes
and
right.
highways,
Right.
cemetery.
Yep. Buildings and maintenance.
Buildings and maintenance.
Cemetery.
It was huge. And that's the other thing. Like when, again, you keep, I told you I'm going to compile a list. And when I compile that list, everybody's going to be like, holy cow. And I would even bet that officials, our elected officials, would even be surprised to see so many things on that list that the taxpayers are paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's be clear, this isn't coming out of the general fund. This is coming out of the Sanitation Enterprise Fund, which is supposed to fully sustain itself. So the only way you can charge in a Sanitation Enterprise Fund is provided. Those services provided are to only go toward those paying the fee, not to the general public. Cemetery is general public. This is a deep-rooted problem within the Enterprise Fund, a deep problem.
So when Bob Correa decided to go with enterprise funds,
He was out of his mind.
well, he peeled off a scab that was, he peeled off layers here that exposed
He
our.
infected the scab.
But it wasn't like it was fixed and then he messed it up. It just
No.
exposed everything. Exposed all the wasteful.
And made it worse.
There you go.
Much worse.
And it was more noticeable with the sanitation department because of we got to take $1.1 million from the general fund. Oh, we got
Let
to
me tell you why they did it. They did it because at that time they were getting money from the trash.
Yeah.
They were receiving funds from the trash that they did not want to go into the general fund. They wanted to, because then when you think about it, look at which departments are under the DCM. When you start thinking about it that way, follow the money. Where did the money go? It's easy to see all of the changes, and remember I said it's connecting the dots. It's one dot after another that I keep connecting. Because now we got sanitation that's messing with housing. Housing and sanitation are side by side. How is that possible that taxpayers are now footing the bill for housing recycling? When did the city of Fall River even become an option for them? It shouldn't even be an option. We're not a business. The enterprise fund is not a business, and it shouldn't be run like a business
at all.
because it's taking nothing but taxpayer dollars.
Oh, I see what they did here.
I could go on all day with that.
No. It's cool.
What's the matter?
I typed in news alert music to get that sound effect, and every shiesty YouTube channeler figured out how to get all that, and now you can't get to it, right?
Yeah.
How about this though? So, how about that? Bam! There it is. Nice. So the next time we want to do something, right? We'll just go like this. We'll go.
No, because
I can make those.
Trash stinks in Fall River. That's it. This just in.
I just realized that we don't have the speakers plugged into the phone.
Ew. That's a true story.
I was like, huh. I was thinking that wasn't gonna work because I was like, yeah, so usually you hook up the speakers to the phone so we can make the caller sound a little louder. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. And all of a sudden I hear the music coming out of the speaker. I'm like, wait a minute. So if someone was to call in, to do that, I'm like, we wouldn't hear a thing.
It would be what it is.
We would have caught on.
We would have scrambled for about 2.4 seconds and we would have been good. Because that's just how quick things happen here.
True story.
There it is. That's the one. I remember this one being it. I think this is it. And what if it's not and it's an embarrassing sound effect?
It will be funny.
It would be hilarious. But let's see what happens. That's a bad one.
That's a very bad one.
What else is
That's not a good one at all.
Sounds like a bunch of church kids singing. A choir. That's what this. That was just so terrible of
this?
me.
Wow.
Yeah, why are you making fun of kids in school? It's a lot of
I'm not.
man.
Predator alert? What is going on here? What
I don't think I want to touch that one.
11. Nah?
Nope. How about this one?
That's right.
That's a good one. That's probably a good one.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
just awful sound. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Wow.
How's everyone doing out there? How's the Patriots?
Oh
Hey,
wow.
let's
The
talk
last
about,
two games have been pretty good.
let's talk about the Patriots for a minute if you
Good. Go for it.
want. That wide receiving core has been decimated. I believe you have Aaron Dobson that's out for the year. He's on IR. Amendola looks to like miss minimal time. You have, you're going up against a Denver team that is pretty strong defensively. Will not have Peyton Manning at the helm. What is really gonna happen right now? What is really going to happen?
I want to find one that works. That's the same one as before.
That's not too bad.
You know
Well, it
what I
sounds
want?
like the beginning of a movie. Though.
I want the one that's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it'd be like a typewriter kind of
Yes.
thing.
It's not doing it for me right now.
But old fashioned.
Yeah, but old school new
How
sound
about
effects.
old? That's nice.
Schoolhouse Rock. I love that.
Old school behind the.
Schoolhouse Rock.
This is not gonna work out.
I have a feeling this is not, but hey, you know what? Whatever.
Well, you put news music.
How old school? Of course, I end up with like the Sugar Hill Gang. I don't want that.
How
News
old?
intro. Please get rid of music and put intro.
Old news music.
I do kind of like the intro. I think intro might give us a little bit.
Oh boy. Do I? I have to. I have to. I have to try. Come on. That's all right, that's good.
Like I feel like
That's a
I
good
feel
one.
like I'm playing Atari.
That one sounded like an Atari game.
Yes, it did.
It's not like I was playing
Battle-
Street Fighter.
Galactica was it? Oh, maybe Street Fighter.
I do like that one.
Where's that from anyway?
Far away.
Thank you.
What is
That's-
it? Egypt?
That's the same guy. Thank you. It's the same thank you guy. So, you just touched my printer?
I did not touch a
He's
thing.
messing with my printer over there, folks.
Dude, I did not touch a thing. Holy hell. That's crap.
He's touching my printer over there, folks.
Printer. Just saying.
Printer.
Just making sure.
Prinna. That's how people in
Printer.
Fall River say printer.
Printer.
I do too.
Is what it is.
PRINNAH.
I was just making sure that everybody knew it was the printer and didn't hear something else.
It's fine.
You're so well spoken.
Yeah, you speak so well.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like you really do.
We're going with Chris Rock right now.
Lost all our viewers. Lost them all.
There's none.
None.
What?
We're having way too much fun over here. That's the problem.
Oh, we gamed one.
Bacon and eggs, talking all kinds of trash.
Yeah.
You like how I said talking all kinds of trash?
Didn't last long.
Nope. They're not staying on. Hey, speaking of Christmas.
We love Christmas. I do.
Yes.
As you can see by Nikki's Dunkin' Donuts styrofoam cup. Enjoy.
Recycled styrofoam cup. Not this particular one, but I did bring it. I should have brought it today.
Do
Recycled
you?
one.
We talked a lot of food today.
Mhm.
Talked a lot of food today. Turkey, obviously, for Thanksgiving. What do you do for Christmas?
A ham.
Oh, what do we do for Christmas?
We usually do a turkey and a ham. To be
Crispy,
honest.
crispy pork.
Oh,
Crickets.
we're off the air. Maybe that's why.
What happened?
Can't hear us?
Can't hear us. I don't know why.
We're on.
Refresh.
Yeah. Hi, sissy. We're on.
What
Try
happened?
refreshing.
Probably because we all stopped talking for a minute. Staring at each other
What in
like
the
crazy
world do we
people.
do? Oh, I think we do
Oh, she
like
said maybe it's just her, but she reloaded twice.
Well, I think at home we do like a pot roast type of deal. I mean, we
I
do,
love pot roast.
we do a pot roast.
See, I love food.
Oh, kale soup.
See,
Kale soup.
beans or no beans?
There's only one way to have them.
No beans.
No, you
See?
put beans in them.
See what I'm saying?
You put beans. That's where it's at. I'm telling you right now. You'll open up your world.
I'm going to want soup.
TJ?
Get on that.
I like seafood.
Me too.
Me and my mom are talking about doing lobsters for Christmas.
Wow,
That's
nice.
you know. Like Christmas, like we have Christmas Day, which is what we do, like when we have the soup and we have the pot roast. But Christmas Eve, which is typically when we will all get together to open up our gifts, because we don't do the whole Christmas morning thing. We will have like a small. We'll have like we'll have some shrimp Mozambique. We'll come back to the shrimp Mozambique now.
Of course you are.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's the greatest shrimp Mozambique that ever came out of Portugal, right?
No, mine is.
Oh, see? Everybody's.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man. That is more territorial than, I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I mean, people will just go all out on that. They will go up and down the line that their shrimp Mozambique is the best, and you are 100% right on that. I mean, we'll just have a random sampling of stuff during that day, and
That might be why we're at zero,
I'm
because
happy.
Yeah, everybody is.
maybe we lost everybody because we're not connected. But it says live. Still recording. Whoever's listening, and
It's just because you have the best internet.
we do actually have a pretty good internet. But problem is that if we're not connected, or if we lost our connection somehow, some way, I'm not seeing it.
It's probably YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it being a problem here. So,
Thank you, you screwed.
no, it says schedule streaming live now.
Are we good?
It keeps you playing the same line when they're trying to get. Oh, see, it's saying offline.
It's called the remix.
Oh, it is offline, huh? What's all that about?
Time to call Google.
Nope, I'm not calling Google. Just gonna stop the broadcast.